Many world leaders will meet at the United Nations tonight to again consider a global response to climate change. Tony Abbott is sending Foreign Minister Julie Bishop. As they meet, a group of wealthy Americans led by the Rockefellers has announced they'll be selling out of $50 billion in fossil fuel investments. But where do you put your money in Australia if you want to dump coal, gas and oil? Well, Andrew Robertson went to find out.
Australians have nearly $2.5 trillion invested in managed funds. Not surprisingly, in a resources-rich country, the benchmark share market index is dominated by big miners, oil companies and banks who fund a lot of their activity. All up, they account for 46% of the ASX 200. So if we in Australia followed the Rockefellers' example and sold out of companies associated with fossil fuels, where would we put our money? To find out, I visited a fund manager who's put his money where his mouth is.
Oh, hi, Andrew.
Thank you for agreeing to do this.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Nice to see you again.
Roger Montgomery is well known to viewers of the business. His funds don't invest in resources stocks and only have shares in one of the big four banks.
Oh, there's no doubt there are better returns in businesses outside of commodities. Come over to my desk and I'll show you.
Which is why, like the Rockefellers, Roger Montgomery's motives for avoiding fossil fuel-related industries are not just altruism.
Let's say we go back to 2007. BHP reported profit of $16 billion on $34 billion or $35 billion of equity and $14 billion of debt. If you fast forward to the most recent year, their profit is unchanged, about $14 billion, but now they've got $83 billion of equity and $36 billion of debt. So there's a lot more equity and a lot more debt, and yet profit hasn't grown.
So if you're not invested in the big banks and not invested in resources, where can you make money in the Australian market?
Oh, fortunately, we're blessed with a large number of, or a disproportionately large number of companies that generate outstanding returns on equity. They tend to be either in, for example, retail, telecommunications, data warehousing, infrastructure, for example, and when I mean infrastructure, infrastructure for the internet and telecommunications.
And speaking of the internet, like most of the rest of the world, Roger Montgomery sees many investment opportunities there.
Now, the most successful businesses in the world are businesses that are merely lists of something, either lists of houses, lists of jobs, lists of holidays, REA, car sales, Google, for example, you know, those sorts of businesses. Google's just a list of other lists.
Roger Montgomery also likes companies like CSL or, at the smaller end of the market, car servicing software firm Infomedia.
Everyone has a car, everyone needs to service the car, and this is a business that is growing phenomenally overseas and has enormous potential, and we prefer those sorts of businesses to businesses whose prospects are becoming clouded, if not worse.
Roger Montgomery believes the Rockefellers have sniffed the breeze and concluded that renewable energy is the future. However, because of the cloud over clean energy in Australia, he sees no opportunities for the Rockefellers here.